Welcome to the Heart to Heartland podcast. Here are your hosts. Welcome back, everyone. I am Isabelle,
I'm Soile.
and we are on episode 5 of our Heart to Heartland podcast. Very
Yeah,
excited to be here after a very long weekend of editing.
yeah. We had some technical problems with
Yeah, every
episode.
possible thing that could have went wrong, and yeah, it was a disaster. But
Yeah,
thankfully, it's up, and we've gotten some really positive feedback with it.
yeah. Thanks,
So
guys,
thank
for
you.
sending that
Yeah,
already.
yeah, thank you. So we really like the feedback.
Yeah,
Alberta Dreams on Instagram said, "Great episode, great talking. Thanks for sharing your thoughts and experiences." Yeah, like thanks so much for listening. We got so many comments about Jessica Steen as well,
yeah.
which I love to see.
People
Absolutely,
are loving her. So
yeah, rightfully so. We also got some DMs here. Maddie Innes on Instagram said, I have a lot of good things to say about the Jisa couple. Every time I watch a Jisa scene, it makes my heart cry. Agreed. Because how sweet they are together and how much love he has for Lisa.
yeah,
Agreed.
yeah. I'm so glad people like the
Yeah.
episode because it was really
Yeah.
important for
Yeah.
you, especially.
We went like 3 hours
Yeah,
for that episode. I had to cut a lot of things out because we just kept talking. But there's so much to talk about when it
yeah.
comes to them. Like, how are you supposed to just pick and choose and
Like 14 years worth of topics, basically.
literally in 2 hours, so like actually less than 2 hours,
Yeah.
but yeah, we have a couple DMs here. HL Horses sent such a long message, and I had so much fun reading through it. Something I did want to point out, they said they brought up episode 1016 when, how do you even explain that, when they
Yeah.
thought Jack had a long lost daughter,
Yeah.
basically, and Lisa wasn't in that episode.
Yeah.
So that's a thought that they brought up, which is very, very important because I think that's something really important that we missed.
Yeah.
And I remember, and this person said, I just remember being shocked that Lisa wasn't there because it was such a huge episode for Jack.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't know why she wasn't in it. All I know about that is I was on set when someone had asked her if she's in it, and she's like, nope. So that's all I know about that. Why? I don't know. But I also agree that she should have been in it. But
I
I
wa-
imagine, like, in Heartland World, she must have already known or something.
yeah,
I
I
guess it's
wonder
weird.
if the writers even considered
Thought of
having,
it?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. But yeah, thank you so much for being patient though, because it was we thought we had it and then it didn't happen, and we thought we had it and it didn't happen. So
Yeah.
thank you very much for the patience and for still watching it even though it was out like 2 days late. But
Yeah, like
anyways,
you can never guess these things happen, but
yeah, and
they
it was
do.
just, yeah, it was a disaster, but hopefully it's over now. I think there was one more message I had on Tumblr from Smoke and Holsters, something about how, right here, about how Carrie James might not be in season 15 because
Yeah.
of his father. And they said, "Well, I hate the reason why Carrie might not make it to filming. Maybe that'll bring Caitlin back for, one single appearance or something."
Yeah, I would really like that because
Yeah,
we would
I
not
agree.
only get to see Amy have a friend, but also just,
Yeah,
what
no
she's been up
kidding.
to and like how has Cassandra's character,
Yeah,
dealt with losing
yeah.
Ty.
And I'm not even necessarily a Cassandra fan, but I like her relationship with Amy, and I also think that like she's Caleb's wife, so it's just weird that we don't see her.
Yeah,
It's
and
just weird.
we've never seen her with Carson, so
I know, with her son, yeah.
kind of weird.
Very weird. But yeah, I think that's all I have for messages right now. Do you have
Yeah.
anything for updates?
Yeah, I have a couple updates. There is DVD update.
Oh, right, season 13.
Yeah, season 13 has already been out in
Oh,
Europe
yeah.
and in Australia, but
Lucky.
they are gonna release season 13 on DVD
Nice.
in Canada in May. Was it 18th?
The 18th,
Yeah.
May 18th, which is probably a Tuesday because that's when it's normally out.
Yeah.
DVD releases come out on Tuesdays.
And it's region 1 DVD, which usually means that people from United States can also buy it, but
Oh, okay.
apparently there's some problem with that. So
And it's really weird because I know there's certain parts of the states where it would work, but not the entire country, which
yeah,
is weird. But
yeah. So
yeah,
hopefully they will deal with that problem.
yep.
The reason why it's so late apparently is because of COVID. You know,
Yeah, there's
people
probably
not.
delays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully that means that, now that
Yeah.
people are more back to work, that maybe season 14 is going to be released like
I
by
hope
the
so.
fall or something.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna get it hopefully the day it comes out and I'll watch the behind the scenes to see
Yeah,
if there's anything good there we can talk about
yeah,
on
I
the
have
podcast.
I have the European version,
Oh,
so
so was there any behind the scenes on it?
yeah, I think there were
Oh
a
my
few
God,
good
I
ones. I
forgot
think
about
some
that.
of them have already been published on the YouTube
Oh,
page.
really?
Yeah,
And
so
Jessica wasn't in any of them from what
um
you saw?
yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, but there
I'm
were
still
some.
angry about season 11 that came out on DVD and she
Yeah,
was supposed to be interviewed, but they didn't put it on there.
I, I
Pretty angry about
like
that.
from the top of my head, I don't think she was in any of them,
Yeah.
but there were some
Because
other.
you would have told me and I don't remember
Yeah,
you telling me.
because I'm always like, okay, here's the new
Yeah,
thing. Like,
whenever
have you
there's
seen
anything
this?
Jessica.
Yeah.
God bless.
But there's definitely some interesting stuff there, and
Okay.
you
I
know,
can't wait to watch it.
yeah. Then Siobhan Williams, who played Jamie
Hmm.
in the earlier seasons, has come out with her debut single called Everything.
Interesting. What kind of genre music is it?
Oh gosh. I don't know, like pop, but not
Okay.
really
I'm
like.
gonna listen to it. I'm gonna see if
Yeah,
I can find her on Instagram and
yeah.
grab the link so I can
She's
see
a
her
very
show
good
her.
singer apparently, you know.
Oh, that's cool. Good for her.
So it will be interesting to see if there will be more music and like maybe an album or something soon.
That would be cool, and I
Yeah,
wish her all the best on that.
yeah. And then Amber's cow Ella had a calf.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and she's trying to choose a name. Like,
Wow.
I don't know if she has already chosen a name by the time this
I
episode comes out.
Yeah, no, by the time this episode comes out, who knows if she will, but she had listed a couple of possibilities that she wanted people to pick from.
Yeah, and she also brought in two other calves because her cow Ella is a Jersey cow and they
Mhm.
produce a lot of milk, so she's trying
Yeah, oh,
to.
I heard about
Yeah.
that.
And then last Friday, this is not like an update per se, but last Friday Amber had a meet and greet with Mark Connolly, CBC Edmonton's. There's this
Mhm.
event called like open house or something, and she had Talon. How do you say the name of the
Talon?
Talon? Yeah,
Talon, I think? I don't know.
Talon on it. When I joined, he was still there, and then an accident happened. So
Yes. So you texted me and you told me what was happening, and I was like, this is a joke. There is no way she brought her horse in and then it shit on the floor. There's just no way that happened.
it
I
did.
don't you.
They recorded that event, so hopefully it'll come out
I
at
want to
some
see it
point.
so bad.
Yeah,
I feel so bad for Amber because there's people like asking her questions on the computer. You said, right? Like
yeah.
fans actually meet her.
It have happened over Zoom, so
Yeah.
people were asked to shut down their
Yeah.
microphones, so
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
wouldn't be any like extra noise.
Yeah.
But apparently some people didn't know how to do that or something, and there was this guy
Shocker.
called Ricky who was like babbling on something, and then there was someone else who was like, "Princess, get down from the couch," or something, like yelling to a dog.
Oh
Or
my god, I can't believe I missed this. Oh my god, it's so funny. Poor
yeah,
Amber.
yeah.
Poor
Well, she was a
She's
pro
probably wanting to
about.
shoot herself.
She was
Oh
she
gosh.
was good about it, but like I felt for her because like you know, every teacher probably relates to that situation.
This is
Like you
so
have
funny. Oh my god.
like your students, and then they're like doing something else,
Yeah.
and yeah. But there were a couple of questions that the host asked from her, and
Okay.
to my surprise, a lot of them weren't like the same old
No,
yeah.
yeah. That's good.
Um, there was one thing that I noticed when someone asked, like, is there going to be, well, first of all, is there going to be season 15? She didn't
Oh yeah.
confirm it yet. But it was basically like, if there is going to be season 15, like, what do you see? Like, this, is there
Yeah.
going to be romance? And she basically said what we said in the first episode.
That is too soon, or
Yeah, something like maybe she could go on dates, but it's like maybe nothing like pans out.
yeah.
But yeah, so
I don't. Oh god, I think it's too soon.
yeah, I
I
think
don't
it
think it should
was,
happen this season. I really don't. I think it's way
yeah,
too soon.
yeah, I think it was interesting to hear her perspective,
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
know, she will do whatever the writers
Yeah.
tell her to do, but like
Oh, for sure.
what she
Her
thinks.
opinion. Yeah.
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 So I thought that was interesting. And then yeah, people just ask like, are you still in contact with Graham? And like what's the story with the horse Talon and all that
Okay.
stuff. So it was interesting.
That's good.
Yeah.
At least that part went well.
Yeah, like
I can
uh,
I cannot believe this. This is so funny. I'm so sad that I missed it. I just like would have been sitting there laughing so hard at these people who were like interrupting and talking over here like, "Hi Amber, I'm from," like whatever, right? You're
yeah.
just like so
Yeah, like
awkward.
I just think that maybe it was marketed the wrong way, because it was like meet and greet, but like
Mm,
people weren't allowed to meet and greet her in a way,
yeah.
because it was just questions and we were there to listen.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I think yeah, or actually we have one thing which is not really an update, but I just thought it was funny. The video Sean posted on,
Oh yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
Sunday,
A couple
whatever day
days
that was.
ago, yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny. It actually kind of made my whole week because he like never posts. And when he
Yeah.
does, it's always something like so random but funny, and it makes my day.
Yeah. And I have his notifications on, so I was like,
Yeah, me
huh?
too, because he
He's
doesn't
posting
post,
a
and when he
video?
does, it's like, oh, Christmas.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah. So basically, he was doing yard work, and then through this like dead tree
hmm
somewhere that
Yeah.
he wasn't able to reach. So he used his,
Rope.
yeah,
His
to
lasso rope thingy.
yeah, basically cowboyed up and
Yeah, literally.
got the work done. And I thought that was funny, and you know, he's
Oh
just
my
so random,
gosh.
but like I love him for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the stuff he posts. I love it.
We're gonna move on to our actual topic, which is fandom.
hmm
Okay, so what do you think it means when someone is in a fandom? Like, what do you
Yeah.
think defines that?
Well, like we were talking about, there's a difference between like, liking a show or being a fan of a show and being a fan of the show. There's
Yeah.
a big difference. I think being in a fandom is kind of like defined by kind of like your social media presence. If you have a fan page, I'd say you're in the fandom kind of thing. It's not like there's something that would necessarily, there's not one thing that would put you in the fandom. I think
Yeah.
it's just about having your support, maybe having like a fan page or liking and commenting on things, buying the merch, like all those kinds of things together can put you in the fandom. Meeting people, meeting other fans, whether
Yeah.
it's just on the internet or in person. That's
Yeah.
probably been one of my favorite parts about being in the fandom is meeting these people I've talked to
Yeah.
online in person.
I was trying to think,
Mhm.
am I in other fandoms? Because
Yes.
at the moment, I don't feel like I am. But
I'm not in any like TV show fandoms, but I don't even say I'm in the fandom because I don't have like fan pages for it, but like I'd straight up die, die for
yeah,
it.
like that's the thing. Like I love Marvel movies,
Yeah.
and I reblock,
Yeah.
pictures and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. But I'm not making
Mhm.
any content, or I'm not taking part of
Yeah. Would
the
you call
discussion.
yourself like in the Marvel fandom? Would you say you're in the Marvel fandom or
Like personally, I wouldn't say I am. I
yeah.
don't know. Like I
You're
don't
a
know why.
fan, but
Yeah,
yeah.
like
There's a difference for sure.
yeah. There's a
An unseen difference.
a
Yeah.
line, but
Yeah.
I think it depends on the person, because
Yeah.
I think someone could be in a fandom even if they're just like commenting on social media about
Yeah,
posts.
exactly.
But
Like
like
when you go on Heartland comments and you see the same person who comments on everything, like that's like basically what we're saying.
yeah,
That's how you know you're in a fandom.
because like I could make a comment on
Mhm.
someone who
Yeah.
is acting
On someone else's Instagram or
yeah,
like a different TV show's Instagram, which I don't do. I
I
don't
don't
comment on anything because the only other fandom I'm in is for like a singer-songwriter, right? And I'm not even
yeah, and
I wouldn't even call myself necessarily in the fandom because I don't do anything online.
I think there's like big differences depending on
Yeah.
what's the topic of,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
if it's a book or
Yeah.
a singer
That's
or a
true
band
too.
or
Yeah.
whatever, like it's a
Mhm.
different kind of thing. But I think
Yeah. And then fandoms normally have names too.
yeah, like personally at the
Mhm.
moment, I think I'm just in the Heartland fandom.
Yeah, I would say so too for myself.
Yeah,
Because there's nothing else that I would like post religiously about.
yeah. Have you like? Do you think you've always kind of had some kind of obsession of something, basically?
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. If it hasn't been Heartland, there's still other things that
yeah,
there's this other show that is probably it's not on the air anymore, but it's probably like besides Heartland, it's my favorite show. And I
yeah,
used to have like a fan page for it, just for fun. It didn't last long, but that would probably be the only other time I was in a fandom for a show.
yeah. Because
Like, but I've been obsessed with it at times or different things at different times, but
yeah.
I couldn't say I'm in any other fandom right now. Actually, maybe I am because I do comment on her posts.
Yeah,
I'm
like
such a
that's the thing. Like, how do you define that? Like,
yeah.
I
It's
think
such a
that's kind
thin
of
line between the
yeah.
two. Yeah.
It's a personal thing because
Yeah.
I think looking back, I can definitely pinpoint
Hmm.
things that
What
I
other
was
fandoms have you been in?
well, when I was younger.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I even knew that kind of fandom existed back
Yeah,
then. I
it
don't know.
hasn't been around that long.
But well, I loved Spice Girls.
Did you?
Yeah, I
Ooh,
was a big fan,
nice.
and I had like posters, like
Oh, that's iconic. I love it.
plastered all over the room,
Oh my
and
God.
it was kind of like it probably looked insane, but back then,
I had a phase like that too, except with Taylor Swift.
yeah,
Like my walls would be covered with her. And I'm still like the biggest fan, but I'm not like in the fandom, I'd say.
yeah, I think it definitely changes how you
Yeah.
express your
Oh
feeling,
yeah.
like
For sure. And you don't even realize that it's happening. You
yeah,
don't like wake up one day like, "Oh, I'm in a fandom."
yeah. I
You
think
don't.
it
It just kind of
happens,
gradually
like yeah,
happens.
basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they broke up, and I think
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I was that time.
Oops.
And then um there was this
Mhm.
show called Charmed, which
Oh,
Jessica.
Charmed, the original.
Jessica,
Yeah.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
obsessed about that.
Oh, I remember that. Yes, you do. Like, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I
I do
think
remember that.
like even after it stopped
Hmm.
airing, I was in that fandom for a long time, and then it kind of
Yeah.
withered out, and
Do
then
you watch the new Charmed?
no, I haven't seen it.
No. The only Charmed episodes I've seen from the new one is what Jessica's in.
Yeah, like I'm kind of curious, like what
Hmm.
what kind of is it
Yeah.
that much different? Like I'm not saying like, well, they shouldn't
Hmm.
have done that because
Yeah.
doesn't really matter. Like I'm sure
Yeah.
there's an audience for that, but
Hmm.
there's just
Probably a whole
something
new generation of
exactly.
girls or whatever. Yeah.
So and then after that, I moved on to I think Heartland was kind of
Hmm.
the next big
Yeah.
thing, and then
I'd say Heartland's easily the biggest fandom. I probably the biggest, if not only
yeah,
fandom. Like the other show that's my absolute favorite that I still rewatch. I'm not in any fandom for it,
yeah.
but like I absolutely am obsessed with The Good Wife. Such a good show.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
it's been off the air for like 5 years, but I still like follow them on Instagram and be like commenting on there, like, hopefully one day they'll notice me as if I'm 12 years old again.
yeah. Yeah. I've actually thought about like, is it something with this like need to be in a fandom in a way? Like
Hmm.
I wasn't like, okay, I need to find the next fandom to be in, but then
Yeah,
something just
you're
kind
not
of,
looking for it. It happens.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just finds me and I'm like, well, I guess I'm in a fandom.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think, I don't know if I would necessarily have to be in one, but I think it
Hmm.
definitely is fun to be in one if
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a good fandom.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. There's been some pretty bad ones out there. You
yeah,
wouldn't think it, but I could tell you stories of
yeah,
times where like you try to be in a fandom, but you just don't get accepted. Like
yeah.
it's kind of like a gang, honestly.
Yeah, I was actually I saw this post on Tumblr, which is
Hmm.
something like when there's like these leaders in a fandom, like
Oh yeah.
run away, like that's a bad situation. And I think that's
Yeah.
definitely
Because they
something.
don't welcome new fans. They're just trying to
Yeah,
like show everyone like, hey, I'm in charge here.
yeah. Like I
Oh
don't
yeah.
think
Been there.
there's anything like that in Heartland
Hmm.
fandom. But yeah, I think there's
Yeah.
definitely differences in a way a fandom can be
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
if you look at something like Winona Earp or however you say it.
Oh yeah. You said
Like
it right.
yeah, because at the moment they don't know if there's gonna be a new season because
Oh, are they still going through that?
well I think they had like a announcement that there is gonna be next season, but then
Oh,
the
okay.
channel dropped the show and it's
Is
like
that
they're
what happened?
yeah,
Oh
so
my
they're
God.
trying to find a new channel to help the
The
show do.
show's incredibly successful. I don't
Yeah,
why.
exactly. I
I'm
don't
trying. What channel was it on? Sci-Fi?
yeah, I think so. And they have these like billboards on Hollywood that kind of say like
No
bring
kidding.
Winona home or something. And so it's like fandom can be something like
Oh
that.
yeah. It's an
Something
army when you need them.
yeah,
Like
definitely.
whenever we've had to, when it came to like that HL on Netflix thing we talked about, like
Yeah.
getting the gang together to like harass
Yeah.
CBC, like we can do it. We've done it
Yeah.
before multiple times.
Yeah, it's a force of
Whatever we have to
nature
do.
kind of thing.
Or or when we did that petition to get Jessica listed as a main character
Mm, yeah.
or JS on HL and like the next season she was on the website. So I mean,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
did work.
So would you say that someone else could define if you are a fan
Hmm.
of something, or is it something that kind of
Yeah.
comes within?
I think it kind of depends because as a kid I would say yeah, because as a kid I would just go around talking about Heartland all the time. People like knew that I was this huge fan, so they. But now I don't think so, no.
Yeah, because there's sometimes you see people saying like you're not a real fan if you don't have
Oh
like
no.
the merch or
No, that's not okay because
yeah,
some people can't afford that,
yeah. So
and I've been there. That's
So
not okay to
I
do.
think, it's not okay
Mhm.
to tell someone else
Yeah.
if they're a big enough fan to be.
Yeah.
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 Because there are like events that you just can't go to. Like for me, for the longest
Yeah.
time, I couldn't go.
But that
Or
doesn't make you any less of a fan
yeah,
if you can go to events ever.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think it's just like if you're a fan and you are passionate about something like that,
Mhm.
to me, like
Yeah.
should
You're in
be
the
the
fandom.
like a standard
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
that. But like it can be so much more if you want to. Like you can
Yeah.
create art or
Yeah, like photo edits and stuff.
yeah,
We done that forever. I used to do it. I used to just sit on my computer and make edits all day. It was my favorite thing to do
yeah.
for Jack and Lisa all the time.
Like that's how I started writing fan fiction first,
Hmm.
and
Oh yeah,
then
fanfic.
I started doing edits, and then
Hmm.
it was music videos and fan projects. Like do you remember
Done it
any
all. Oh, like projects
years?
the fans
Yeah,
have done?
like something like say happy birthday to Amber or something like
Yeah,
that.
okay, so 2013, Taylor, we talked about Taylor a couple episodes ago.
Yeah,
She arranged to have a happy birthday Amber video made by
yeah,
like fans all around the world. So you would like record yourself saying happy birthday Amber, or just like take a picture of something that said happy birthday Amber, and she put these clips together. So that happened, and I was actually in that video with like happy birthday Amber written on my face, and I was like with my cousin and stuff. That was a long time ago, but yeah, that happened.
like I remember that, but I don't remember if I took part. Like
I'd have to look online and see if it's
yeah,
there, and we should totally watch it.
because I remember this one video that they did. It was something like "Why I Love Heartland."
Oh yeah, that's when Samia got her poster from Graham and Amber, right? Because
Oh
she,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was the one.
yes,
Yeah, because
yeah, I love that.
I took
Hmm.
part of that, and they chose these like different
Yes.
videos, and I just remember being like freaked out a little bit
Mhm.
because
Did
Amber.
you get a poster for that?
No, I think it was just like a one winner or something.
Oh, oh, okay, I
Or
see.
maybe. But I was kind of freaked out because Amber and Graham
Hmm.
were watching the video, and I was like,
Yeah, I
they're
remember that, and I
watching
was like,
this?
no one
Like,
deserves this more. So,
yeah.
so, so happy.
I
Yeah.
think it's still out there.
Oh, I'm sure it is. We should post the link on
Yeah.
our Instagram or something.
Yeah. Like, I think those are kind of fun things to do. Like, but I've
Yeah.
seen some things like I just don't always know like what to do for them
Hmm.
because I create these like crazy standards for myself. Like,
Yeah.
it's not good enough. Like, that's just
Yeah.
me. But like, I'm not judging
Hmm.
what other people do. It's
Hmm.
just like,
Your own experience. Yeah.
yeah. Do you read fan fiction or have you
I
written?
used to, and I used to write fan fiction too.
Was it just Jack and Lisa stuff?
Yeah. I've only ever written fanfic for Jack and Lisa, and it was never like, I don't think it was ever like typed. I had it like written in a notebook, and I've never like posted it or shared it. It was just kind of like for myself.
Yeah.
But I did used to read fanfic between you, the real TC, and Michaela. Best fanfic for Jack and Lisa.
Yeah. I mean,
Best.
I'm just
Do
like,
you remember when Michaela wrote a fanfic about what happened after Jack and Lisa's wedding? Do you
yeah,
remember that?
yeah. I
Yeah.
remember like being all like, oh, damn, like these people are so talented. Like,
Yeah. She did it really well, yeah.
yeah, like I
Not
think
for children though. Don't read it if you're a child.
yeah,
Ask your parents before going online.
yeah. But I think it's just like fan fiction is amazing way to kind of
Yeah.
entertain the fandom.
And fill the plot holes, right?
Yeah.
Like all the plot holes that are there. Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
it's free and like people are doing it just because they
Yeah.
want to. So I think that's
Yeah.
just like a,
It's just for fun.
yeah.
It's not something that you do for work. It's not something that you do out of pressure. You just do it because it's fun, because
Yeah.
you like to do it.
Yeah. And I've
It's
been writing them for years and it's not
mhm,
like I'm doing them kind of for others. I'm just like
mhm.
I get an
You do
idea
it
and
for
I'm just
yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sometimes I see people being like, well, no one's reading this. And I get that. But for me, I don't think it's about that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
It's just, I feel like I need to get this out of my system and
Yeah.
just dump it. And
Yeah.
if someone else enjoys that, then it's just like,
That is just the icing on top of the cake for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
But your
then,
fanfic's amazing, so I wouldn't be worried about it. Always.
yeah,
I've always loved reading your fan fiction.
oh,
Whether it's about Jack and Lisa or not.
yeah.
You're talented.
Like, it's nice to get feedback, but I don't kind of live for it.
Yeah.
But
You do
then,
it for yourself.
the frustrating thing is sometimes when people don't even try to understand what you're trying to accomplish with the fan
Yeah.
fiction. But I'm just like, well, whatever. Like, I used to
Yeah.
get more like frustrated about it. Like, no, you don't understand. I'm trying to explain that.
Hmm.
And I think for me, it was partly because, I'm not English. So I was thinking like, maybe I'm not, writing it this well enough. Like,
No,
maybe,
it was definitely not you. And I need to take a moment as an appreciation for you because not only did you learn English, but you write in English, your blog is in English. It's not your first language, but you would never tell.
no,
You're
like,
very, very good at what you do.
I think it has definitely helped me to improve my English. Like, I could speak and write okay before, but I think, you don't always use this kind of language
Hmm.
in your everyday life. So
Yeah.
I think that,
So besides like this kind of stuff, how often do you speak English? At
well,
like when you're in Finland?
basically never. Like, maybe
Wow.
if there's like someone who isn't from Finland, then I could be like, okay, that building is over there, but like,
Yeah, you'd
no, no,
you'd
no,
be
no.
like the only person who can speak English.
Yeah, but I kind of get excited about it sometimes,
Yeah.
feeling,
It's a hidden talent,
yeah. So
a very good talent.
I think it's, I think this is kind of a good way to keep it like going, especially now
Yeah.
that I don't see any people. Like, I
Mhm.
I write English every day, I would say, but then you don't get to speak it as much here. So
Yeah. I want to learn Finnish and I'm going to.
yeah, well,
I'm
one
gonna get
word.
like learning Finnish for dummies.
Yeah. So anyway, sometimes it can be frustrating when some people don't kind of understand what you're trying to do with the
Mhm.
story, but you just have
Yeah.
to let it go at some point.
Not everyone's gonna get it, and
Yeah,
that's their loss.
yeah. And I think I used to write a lot of stories about Tiny back in the day, and
Mhm.
those got a lot of feedback, you know.
Yeah.
But now I don't. I feel like I'm kind of stumped with that kind of,
Mhm. You can't
right.
make it happen, right?
Yeah.
You just yeah.
So I've been exploring other characters, and that's been fun for me and kept me writing for years.
Yeah.
So I think with Heartland especially, it's fun to have that kind of
Yeah.
variety in characters,
Mm.
because then you can be like,
There is a big variety. There
yeah,
is.
because one day you can be like, I want to write something about Georgie, and then you're like, oh, I don't
Mhm.
know, this is not going anywhere, and then you're like,
Yeah.
well, maybe I should write about Amy, or you know
Yeah.
or
There's
I
been
want
so
to,
many. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, like, I want to write a story about the horses, or I want to write a story
Yeah, there
about
you
the
go. Fanfic between the horses.
yeah, like, you can just do so many things with
Yeah.
the
There's
stories,
been
and
so many times that I've like started a story and then I just never finished it because I'm like, I don't know where this is going.
yeah,
Like so many times. But
yeah,
they're still like half written, but yeah. I think my favorite fanfic that I've ever written, and I've never shared it, I don't even know where it is. I don't even know if I'd have it still.
it's still
Is
in
I
your
wrote
head, at least.
it is. I wrote this fanfic from I was inspired by season 7, episode 14. And when Jack takes the phone out of Lisa's hand and asks her to stay because she was selling Fairfield. And then the next time we see them is when she said she's staying. So I wrote a fanfic, but what I thought happened between that moment and then when they got back together. because I'm like, that was just sort of like, what are we supposed to think happened there?
Yeah, like I one of the things like that I did was when the first episode of season 14 aired,
Mm,
and there was the scene with Georgie, and then she kind of left the show for a while, and I felt like, well, there's
yeah,
story to be told, but like they didn't tell it, and
yeah,
then I felt like I need to write that out
yeah.
because you
Yeah, I
know,
agree. I think that I don't know why they didn't have more of Georgie in the premiere of that episode. Like
yeah,
she didn't say anything at Ty's funeral or anything. They were close.
yeah. I kept expecting them to do something with
Yeah.
Georgie this season, but they didn't really
Which is
do
probably for the
much.
best because the haters haters gonna hate, but
Yeah,
I really hope she's back in season 15 with Come With the Big Bang because I've
yeah,
missed seeing her.
yeah. But I don't like at the moment. I don't really read that many fan fiction
Yeah, I
stories
haven't
because,
been reading lately either.
like, not only because I'm a kind of a slow reader, but also because I have this ongoing story that I want to like. I don't want to
Oh,
get
dude,
things
yeah.
mixed up, so I haven't really read that many stories lately. But sometimes I can be like, well, I'm in a bus for a couple of hours. Like I can just
There you go.
like
Yeah,
it's
it's
another
starting to have
pairing. It's not gonna mess with my brain.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get like inspired to write a fanfic again, but for Tim and Jessica because I'm
Oh,
like hardcore obsessed with them.
I
If Jack and
wonder.
Amy were on the show, they'd be my favorites right now.
I
So
wonder
I
if
hope they
there
don't mess up.
are any stories of them yet. Like you could be
Ooh.
the first one.
Oh God, I've never posted fanfic like on the internet before, so that'd be like career suicide.
Yeah. Like sometimes, you know, when you're writing a longer story, you can kind of get inspired by the
Yeah.
like response. But like I've been writing this current story for a couple of years.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like it keeps going, and sometimes I get people saying like you should just write the story and then post the whole thing, but like it would mean that I
Yeah.
wouldn't post anything for a couple
Hmm.
of years, and then I would just dump this like novel
That's funny.
sized fan fiction, like, here,
So do you
read
have
it.
like fanfic that you've written just for yourself that you've never posted?
I don't think so. I think I've posted pretty much everything. Like there are a couple
Good
of
for you.
stories that I've deleted once I knew that the Heartland people were reading my blog because
No.
yeah, because
What
I
did you?
was like,
Oh no.
I don't like them being there.
Oh, you didn't want them to read
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's something too about my Twitter when I found out that Jessica had seen my Twitter. I'm like, "Oh my God, I need to delete everything."
Like this
That
user
poor
no
woman's
longer
terrified.
exists. Yeah.
Jessica's secret has died.
Like I don't usually think when I post something like, is this person gonna
Hmm.
see it? But like,
Yeah,
you know,
that's the one
the,
thing about growing in a fandom is when you do get that attention, it also gets the attention of
yeah, because
those
it
kind of people
because I've been in this fandom for a long time. So
forever. Yeah.
I've been here since my early 20s or something.
Hmm.
So I've grown personally a lot. So I just,
Yeah, I agree with you. Hmm.
there are stuff that I sometimes come across and I'm like,
I
whoa,
said that? I
like
did that?
yikes.
Ew. It's like
Yeah.
having an internet family. So that's my favorite part. There's people like I talk to you every day. I talk to
Yeah.
my friend Rebecca. There's so many people that I talk to daily that I've met solely because of the show. That's my favorite part.
Yeah. Like
That's my absolute favorite part about it. So when we all met in person and there's like 20 of us, this long table like Jesus and his disciples, I was like, I'm in glory.
yeah.
So much fun.
And it's interesting because I have the blog and there are some people that
Recognize?
No, I'm trying to say, sorry.
No, don't say
Record,
sorry. You literally can speak English fine.
regularly, like often, regulars. What's the
Oh,
word?
regularly?
Yeah,
Regularly?
yeah.
Yeah.
That I see posting things like thoughts and ideas and
Hmm.
speculation and all that kind of stuff. So it's
Yeah.
kind of fun that I don't really know about them, but whenever I see their username, I'm like, oh, it's this
I
person. Like,
know them. Yeah.
yeah, like, oh,
Yeah.
it's like catching up with an old friend, even though we're
Yeah.
just talking about Heartland. And I kind of love that we don't have to have that like awkward like,
Yeah.
well, what do you do for a living and how old are you, and like
Yeah.
I just think it's
Yeah.
enough that we have this thing in
Hmm.
common, and then we
Well,
should,
there's so much to talk about that you really don't even need to talk about anything else because
yeah,
it's not one thing, it's the other. I remember being at the Royal one year and we're sitting in this line for like 5 hours. So we're all sitting on the floor. And these ladies in front of me were talking about Jack and Lisa and how much they love Jack and Lisa together and not Val. And it just like there's so many times these conversations happen at events. We're just standing in line and we'd be talking in depth about Heartland and then I never like see them again.
yeah,
But it's just like it's like talking to a friend because you're all there for the same reason. You might as well be talking about it while you're sitting there for 5 hours. I
yeah,
just like my favorite part about it is just meeting and talking to these people as if we've known them forever.
yeah.
And they're
And
just some old friends.
it's kind of like you would be in this different country and then you wouldn't know the language, but suddenly someone's
Yeah.
speaking your language. So you're
Yeah.
like, oh,
Ooh.
I want to talk with you. Like, what's up?
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah,
like
there'd be
this
so many
connection.
people that I would love to meet in person and just talk because it's we text about these things and I'll
Mm.
message people, but first of all, typing is a lot of work. And second of all, it would just be easier to say it than to
Yeah.
type it.
And sometimes
So
I'm
it's a lot
like,
of fun.
oh, I have this thing, like this thought, but like, how do I like put it in few words? But then if you were actually having a conversation, you could go like back
Yeah.
and forth and it would
Yeah.
just be so much better.
Because in a conversation, you have like the tone of the voice, you have facial expressions,
Mm.
you have all those kinds of things that I think really make really make a conversation a conversation.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm like fidgeting and like throwing stuff, but
You're so excited. But
yeah, pretty much.
yeah, it kind of connected to that. I love speculating about, what's gonna happen, and
So when they
what.
post a pic they're not supposed to, and we're like analyzing the crap out of it,
Yeah, like,
like
is that this character, and what's that
yeah,
person doing with that, and like,
yeah,
why are they there, and what
yeah.
is this person wearing? And
Mm-hmm.
like, speaking of that, like, there have been a couple of leaks happening
Oh.
throughout the show. Like, what are some of the leaks that you remember being like, oh my gosh?
My favorite leak of all time, season 7, episode 1. So Jack was found on the
Mm.
ground at the end of season 6. We didn't know if he was alive or not. It was a big deal. And I
Um,
remember one of the first days they started filming season 7, some dude posted this photo on Instagram of Sean on set. And I'm like, you guys have got to be kidding me. And it just came up. So I messaged Gordon and I'm like, so he's not dead now, is he? Post went down right away and they were like, nope, we that's not for sure. Nope, that's not it. That's not from today kind of thing. But
was
I did
it
save it. I did save that picture. I have no idea where it is though.
was it the picture from the dinner table?
It was no, I think it was Sean by the fireplace when they were doing Georgie's name ceremony stone thing.
Have I seen it? I don't know.
Oh gosh. I don't know if you've seen it.
I
I
just
remember taking
remember.
a screenshot of it, but yeah, it was a long time ago, and it was as soon as I had sent that message that I had found this picture, it was down right away. So
Yeah, there have been a couple of things like that I've been like,
yeah,
hmm, what is
with
this?
with them leaking Ty's death, like out of all the things in the world to leak, I feel like that was the worst.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna go back to that in a second, but I wanted to mention about season 7. there was, at that point we didn't know if Chuck was
Mm-hmm.
living or not, and there was this picture with them on the dinner table, and Sean was sitting where Jack always sits, and
Mm-hmm.
people were like, "What is this? Like, that's definitely him!" Like,
Oh, I don't remember that. What the heck?
yeah, and I remember talking to people like, "Well, is that a ghost or is he
Mm-hmm.
not dead?" Like, it was just
Yeah.
fun, like as frustrated and nervous as we were. Like, it was fun to,
Especially being a Jisa fan, because we talked last
yeah,
week about how she was gone and we didn't know if she was coming back. Now add Jack potentially dying on top of that.
yeah,
Stress. I remember I had a boyfriend at the time. I was like 14 and I had a boyfriend at the time. And he was like, "Why are you crying?" And I told him why. And he's like, "That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard."
he
I was
just
like
didn't get
crying
it.
over this
Yeah,
potential fictional character's death. I'm like, this is a big deal.
yeah. Like, I bet a lot of people had that this season with
Oh
Ty.
yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, and then I remember Ty and Amy's wedding was leaked.
How did that get leaked again?
Well, I don't know if I was the first one to see it, but I definitely remember seeing this picture with, there were the lights from the barn, and
Oh right.
yeah,
Yes,
there
yes,
was there
yes.
was some I don't know,
I
not
think
a,
there was a picture of Amber on Spartan too, was it? And she was wearing a wedding dress
I'm
that
not
someone had posted. I don't
sure, but
remember.
I just remember the
Mm-hmm.
barn and the lights, and it was obvious it was the
Oh.
wedding, and it was like someone who isn't the typical crew member.
Mm.
Like, they were just visiting or something, and they just
Yeah, the
posted,
intern effed up on his first
and
day.
and I remember posting it like, "Is this what I think it is?" And
No, of
5 minutes later,
course
it's
it
gone
was. Yeah,
because
yeah,
Heartland people were looking over the
yeah.
blog like,
Satan works fast, but the Heartland producers work faster.
or the fans.
Yeah, yeah, literally the fans work faster. That's what it is. Whoever takes it down works even faster, but
Yeah, and then there was when Lindy was born, I think the
oh, they posted about it.
mother
Oh
of the
no.
baby, like just a couple of days before the episode aired, they were like, "Oh, my baby boy is in the episode," and everyone was like, "Okay, so they're having a boy," and
So like how
she was like,
how do
"Well,
people
you'll
not
see."
know that they need to keep this a secret? I don't get how people don't like think like maybe I shouldn't post this.
Yeah, I would think that they would have to sign some
I
kind of like
know.
thing. I don't know.
And well, they should have started because leaks after leaks with this show. That's the
Yeah,
one thing I love about it is nothing's ever a secret. I don't think I've ever been surprised in my life except for Jack and Lisa's wedding.
yeah. And
I
then
remember when in season 8 that John Mclaren posted this photo from Jack and Lisa's wedding reception,
yeah,
and I remember looking at it the first time, like, oh, it's Jack and Lisa, and it took me a minute, and I'm like, wait, why is she wearing white? why are they all dressed up? I
yeah.
was
Like,
like,
what's
wait a minute. Yeah, of course that photo was taken down too, but I do have that saved somewhere, and I
yeah,
was
and
like,
speaking of John McLaren, it was fun to speculate, like, who is he?
oh,
Like,
who that? Everyone, I
yeah,
thought he was Ben
yeah,
Stillman.
everyone thought that,
Yeah.
and I was
It was
kind of
such a
disappointed.
stupid storyline, honestly.
Yeah,
I did not like the fact that they brought him back as a different character. It's like I would have rather seen Ben.
yeah. I mean, I didn't mind the recast, but like, yeah, I was really excited to see Ben, and then I was kind of like,
Hmm.
oh, Jesse. Well,
Yeah,
I guess that's fine too.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and another leak that I remember was during season 11 when um, Chris Potter's IMDb page had pictures from Mongolia.
Oh, please. How does this stuff happen?
Yeah, and I was like, well, you know,
So he's going
and
to Mongolia too, eh?
yeah, so
Oh, please.
that got the Heartland, people mad as well. There are
Oh,
a couple,
really?
yeah, because they were like, why do these leaks keep
Yeah.
happening, and like, because they're
You
trying
think
their
after
best.
14 years they'd have it figured out, but
Yeah,
thankfully for us, they don't.
yeah, and sometimes it could be even the tiniest thing, and
Yeah.
fans still
It
figure it
doesn't
out.
take much to figure it out, no.
Yeah. But back to Ty's death, like I've been thinking about this a lot from different reasons. Do you think that in a way leaking, or I don't know if it was intentional or not, but that leaking helped the fans process,
Oh, prepare for it?
yeah, the whole thing?
I
Because
mean,
a lot of people got mad, and they were
oh,
really
people
nasty.
angry.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
really nasty with their comments, and I think that
Yeah,
was like
very.
out of line. But I think
Yeah.
it's an interesting thing, like what if that was planted in a way to
Mm-mm.
prepare the fans? Like, I'm not going or
No, I
conspiracy
know.
theorist, but like just like for me personally, I know that in a way it kind of helped me
Hmm.
go through those
Yeah, that's when we found
thoughts.
out.
Yeah.
Because I had heard something from someone I know from set about it. And then when we got that leaked, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then it did happen. And I was like, I was just as shocked as everyone else though. I was like,
Yeah.
there's no way they're actually gonna do this.
I kept going back and forth, like, "Oh, is it gonna happen?" Like, I don't think so. But then being like, well,
Yeah.
in a way, I
Yeah.
believe it will. But then even
Hmm.
when the first episode aired, I wasn't sure what we're gonna
Yeah.
get, because
And they tried so hard to be like, yeah, Graham isn't in this season. He is in this
yeah,
season. He's on
yeah,
set.
yeah, like
And
it wasn't a lie, but like
it
it
was what it
wasn't.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't what people
And he
expected.
didn't, I don't even think he had scenes with anyone. They just brought him in and
Yeah,
then they just edited him into everything else.
yeah, and it's just interesting to kind of, because it just felt kind of weird and wrong that they would leak that. So like, and the wording was kind of weird in a way,
Yeah.
and I just kept going like, no, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happened behind the scenes that no one's ever gonna know about.
I
Graham wanted to leave, so I don't really think fans can be mad at him for that, if that's a decision he wanted to make.
Yeah, I do wonder that if it had not leaked, like what the response would
Mhm.
have been. Like that would have been quite a
It
shock.
would have been worse. I think it would have
Yeah,
been worse.
like I think in a way for the fans that were really angry about it, it was just like it took the angriness to the
Mhm.
next level. But like I think for some fans it was kind of like, oh, okay, well, I get it.
Yeah.
And when they posted all those videos and explaining the reasoning and all that, like I think they knew that it was gonna be a big response.
Mhm. And I feel like was surprised, but I wasn't because I think when season 10 started with the whole Mongolia thing, I'm like, I don't think it's gonna be long and he's gonna be gone.
Yeah.
Because you could just tell his heart wasn't in it anymore.
Yeah, and the longer I think about it, and the more we get to hear about,
Mhm.
the reasons and what went on behind the scenes, it just makes more sense to me. And
Yeah.
it's definitely interesting that that got leaked. Like, I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but it
Mhm.
definitely for me affected the way I approach the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah.
So I think leak can sometimes be good, but
Yeah.
I can understand why they get frustrated if something leaks like that.
Yeah.
Then one of the things, it's not really leak related, but going back to having that community and that those friendships and
Mhm.
that families. I remember one of the first things that was kind of like exploded was when Spartan got into his accident in season
Oh,
6.
people hated Mallory. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Like, just beating her up for it.
yeah. And I think the episode description got out and we were like, what does this mean? Like, is
Oh
Spartan gonna
no.
die? And like people were freaking out. And I
It was
I
a good
remember,
episode though. I actually liked
yeah,
that episode.
yeah, it was really well done.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah, very well.
but I remember that we were just yelling each other like, oh my gosh, like we can't lose Spartan, and like
Yeah.
what's gonna happen. And
Yeah.
it was both like great because you had someone else to kind of who understand
Yeah.
the level of
No.
freaking out. But then at the same time it was scary because a week is a long time to
Oh my
go
God.
back and
Yup.
forth with all the like, they can't do that, right?
Yeah, and then the Thursday blog. Thursday was always my favorite day of the week because,
Yeah,
well, the blogs used to be a lot better than they are now, but there'd be so many pictures and they would tell you what's happening.
yeah.
And I'd get mad if there wasn't a picture of Jessica. I remember season 8 one time, she had come back after being gone for a little bit, and I was like, "Where's the picture of her?" And they're like, "Okay, check the blog again." And there wasn't. They posted a picture of her.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know if they all hate me or love me, but either way.
Thursdays were like always the highlight of the week, almost on
Always.
the level of Sunday, and then of course
Yeah.
Monday because everyone was talking
Yeah,
about
freaking out. Yeah.
yeah. But the blog posts usually they were published and still are published really late for my time.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I remember staying up like over midnight being like,
Oh
I
my
want to see the
God.
pictures and I want to know what's gonna happen. But like
Yeah.
these days I'm like, oh,
Yep.
it's just Thursday, like, wow.
Yeah.
So you've done a lot of fan art in the past.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why, like, do you do those things for yourself or for others to enjoy?
I
Like,
started doing it for myself.
yeah,
And before my hard drive died and I lost everything, there was this folder of edits that I never posted and I just made for myself, just for
yeah.
fun, just as like, it was just be like after a long day of work or something or bad day at school, I would just sit there and make edits for hours. It was fun. It was just something fun to do.
I used to do more fan art back in the day,
Hmm.
but then I kind of changed up my like what my blog was
Your
about.
direction of your blog,
Yeah,
yeah.
like there's still stuff like that sometimes, but then I wanted to add like updates and news and all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. So that kind of took most of my time. So I don't do that as much anymore, but it's fun to be like when you're watching the episode and be like, oh, I'm gonna give that, like I'm
Yeah.
gonna make a set of that, and
Yeah.
oh, that's gonna make a nice screen cap, and
Yeah.
oh,
We think the
all this.
same way because that's how I used to think too. It's like, oh, I got to go back and screenshot that.
Yeah, like where was that part? Okay, it was in the
Yeah.
beginning of the episode,
Yeah.
and like
It's after this scene and before
yeah,
that one.
like what dialogue am I gonna
Yeah.
use this and all that kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
what am I gonna put on the edit? Oh my gosh, blast from the past.
Yeah,
Wow. I do every Monday after a new
yeah.
episode.
Yeah, like I don't really have that many hobbies in a way, but I feel
Hmm.
like having my blog is kind of
Is your
my
hobby,
hobby.
yeah.
Yeah.
It
And it,
keeps you busy though, I mean.
yeah, definitely. Sometimes I see people being like the thing with blogging, it's so much fun because you get to share all those things with someone, but
Hmm.
sometimes I see people saying like I kind of like consider that I'm more like above others or something like that. But I don't
Oh,
like I
that's
don't
not okay, yeah.
yeah, like I don't think
You've never been like that ever.
like it's never been like that for me. Like I'm
Mm-mm.
not any better fan because I
Yeah.
have the blog. Like that's not, it's just like a
No.
hobby I do, and then others get to experience with me.
Yeah.
And
No, you're
like
not like that at all.
yeah,
People just like you don't know anything about someone from social media. Let's just say
yeah.
that.
And like, I have opinions about stuff, but
Hmm.
there's just like anyone
Yeah.
else's. And like, I'm not
Yeah.
some kind of like representative of the
Hmm.
show, or like just like the way the show should go,
Yeah.
or like anything like that. Like, I've gotten some nasty messages over the years, and I'm like I'm not trying
Mhm.
to attack you. Like, we can
Mhm.
talk about topics that we disagree with, but like I'm not trying to like
Yeah.
tear you down or anything. Like,
Mhm.
we can have these
Oh, yeah.
conversations like I
I
used to
remember
get,
those days.
yeah, like
Getting hate from like these like children. I remember getting I remember this exact person too because I think she gave you hate too. So much. And like there was a hate page for me. She had it as a
really,
fan page for me and then like shortly after turned into a hate page and I was like, "Okay." And there was this rumor going around that I was rich and my family was rich and they paid for all my trips and stuff, and that's what this girl was going on about, and I was like and I know who started that rumor too. I know exactly
I
who
don't
started
remember this.
Oh, I remember it all too well.
Yeah, like I
And I was
got,
like, "I'm I'm not rich. I'm
yeah,
not rich. My family isn't rich. I don't even see my family, so I don't know how they'd be giving me money, but okay."
yeah,
It's just like, "What the heck?"
yeah. Like I think, especially when I was, starting out, and I got
Mm,
a lot of these like messages like
yeah.
you're wrong or like shut up, and I'm like, what? Like,
And it's always from people who, like they're normally, like, spam accounts. It's never from, like, actual
yeah,
people. They're trolls because they won't ever use their face and their name to say these awful things to people.
yeah, and it's like weird, like especially like even lately, like I've been writing this story that is not everyone's cup of tea, so to speak.
Mhm.
And I don't expect it to be like, it's just for
No.
me and like just to have
Especially in
fun.
this fandom, unfortunately, there's a lot of old
So
school people who don't have, um, woke thoughts about things, and it's, like it's quite damaging.
the way I think about it is like, it's fine if you don't like the story or my
Mm,
opinion, like we can have discussion about it. Like I'm open to
mhm,
hearing your thoughts. Like I often get messages and I don't
mhm.
always agree with them, but I think
Yeah.
it's great to have these different voices
Mhm.
in the fandom,
Yeah.
because I've learned so much from other people, so it's
Yeah.
not always like a bad thing to have different opinions,
Yeah,
because it,
it's not bad to disagree at all.
yeah,
It's just about you have to have respect on both people have to have respect for each other's
yeah,
opinions and doesn't go one way. So if you aren't feeling respected in a conversation, you don't have to
yeah, exactly. It's
continue with
like
it.
even if we would disagree, it's like just have that respect for me and I have that
Yeah.
respect for you, and like
Yep.
we don't have to come to the same conclusion in a way. But it's just frustrating sometimes
Yeah.
because I love blogging, but at the same time there have been times when I felt like I've kind of been a target for some
Yeah.
people, but then
Yeah.
they're like not saying who they are, they're not using their names and like putting
It's
themselves out
yeah.
there.
No one ever has like everyone's just a coward. They would never say it to your face
Yeah,
or with their name and picture included. They just say it
yeah.
thinking
So
they're gonna get away with
there
it.
have definitely been times when I've been like, I want to, stop and just like
Yeah.
get out.
Well, there's been times we've taken breaks before, I think, haven't
Yeah,
we?
it's just like it gets kind of overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
And when it's not fun, you need to take a step back.
yeah,
Just say
because
like take a break and then go back when you feel like you can.
yeah, because I love the show, and I could
Mhm.
just be quiet and love it and watch it.
Yeah,
Like,
you
but
could
it's
still be
just,
the biggest fan you are without having a blog,
yeah,
but
but
you wanna have a blog because you
yeah,
love having your blog.
yeah, and it's I've met these all amazing people like you, and just there are
Mhm.
so many good things about it, but sometimes it has been kind of
There's bad
challenging.
things.
Yeah, like lately, like I said about the fan fiction, like I was getting a lot of you know hate on fanfiction.net. uh
What did you write about that people didn't like?
well, it's just like this, there's a story, like I'm not saying
Mhm.
I'm shipping this
Yeah.
herring, but it's just like something that
Oh.
I'm writing about because it's
Mhm.
interesting, a
It's
different
funny how
person.
people can get so pissed over fictional characters.
Yeah, and it's like, you don't like what I'm writing, like move on, like you
Then
don't have
don't
to
read
read
it.
this.
Yeah.
But then some people are clearly like hate reading
Mhm.
the fic,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're like,
Yeah.
this is so awful, like
Mhm.
you, like what you chose to write is just like, why would you do this? And then lately it has been just like people gone
Jeez.
back, like they have a bad day and they just dump that on me, and I'm like, I don't
Clearly
have
you're a
anything
fan
to do
too.
this. Like,
Yeah, that's not okay.
yeah, so
Not okay.
I actually deleted all my fan fiction from that site just
Oh,
because, like,
really?
yeah, because it was getting like really frustrating for me
Mhm.
to, because I don't have to publish those comments. There's
Mhm.
that option to moderate the comments,
Mhm.
but I have to read them still. And
Yeah.
I think those people know that I have to read them. And like, even
Yeah,
if
of
I wouldn't
course.
publish them, they would be like, well, she's going to read
Yeah.
these.
Yeah.
So it was getting like frustrating because, they almost had this like power over me because they
Yeah.
didn't use their
That's what it feels like.
name.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, why are you attacking me? Like, you could just
Mhm.
do something else with your time.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not worth it. Like,
It's not, no.
yeah. So that's
Mhm.
definitely one of the things that have been kind of the downside of being in this
Yeah.
fandom. But most of the time it's just like amazing, and I
Yeah.
love it. And I think, especially now with all these the situation with the world
Mhm.
and being isolated, it
Yeah.
just gives me something
Yeah.
to think about and
Mhm.
something to do
Yeah.
and get my mind out of
Yeah.
everything. Like, it
Yeah.
just could it can be that with whenever and
That's just
wherever.
what it is though with Heartland. It's that safe and comforting place.
Yeah,
And just like this podcast, it's a safe place for everyone.
yeah. And it has been amazing to meet all these people. Like I said, like, I
Mhm.
remember when I was um, in Canada back in 2019, and um, I was at the fan event, and I was with Gordon, and we were just talking about something, and then one of these fans, like, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, but she came over and she was like, hey, I know you, and like, maybe you
Oh,
don't know
that is
me.
so sweet.
Yeah, and she was just the kindest and just like the sweetest person, and it was, I don't know, it was just great that she
Yeah.
then came to me and not just stay back and be like, yeah, I saw you
Yeah,
there.
I could tell you some really creepy stories from about other fans too.
Yeah,
There's been pros and cons, that's for sure.
yeah. Like, I think those moments are great when you're like,
Mhm.
these person, like,
Yeah.
these people kind of materialize in front of
Yeah.
you because there've been these usernames and these
Yeah.
icons for such a
Yeah,
long
when
time.
you come whenever I would like meet fans, I'm like, you gotta tell me your username because I'll
Yeah,
know that better than your name.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, um, wait a
Yeah.
minute, like, what's your icon? Like, oh, Jack
Yeah.
and Lisa, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
whenever someone
Exactly.
changes their icon, I'm like, who's that?
Who is that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
One of the things I wanted to mention also is that because you've been in a fandom for a long
Mhm.
time, you kind of
Yeah.
see the same like discussions and fights and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, like, for example, our Facebook, there are a lot of new fans
Mm.
who are just like getting to know the show. So it's
Mhm.
usually like, I'm watching season 4 and like Ty and Amy are
Mhm.
driving me crazy. Like, why are they doing this? And I'm like, well, I had this discussion like 10 years ago. Like, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
like take part. And I'm like, I just let you have that, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
that
I
experience.
streaming really changed everything. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
And it's the same thing with season 8. And I'm like, well, I have opinions about that. Like, but
Season 8 was a train wreck.
like rant
Oh
out,
gosh.
like,
Yeah.
just let it
Nothing
out.
we heard before, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
So it's like sometimes it can be like, oh gosh, like, why are
Yeah.
they talking about this again? Like,
Yeah.
I thought
Trying
we
to
were done.
having to relive the trauma.
Yeah. But then I'm like, okay, well, they're probably new fans, or it's
Mhm.
something they're stuck on. Like,
Mhm.
it's like,
Or when people get
fine.
mad about seeing spoilers.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
there's nothing we can do about that. The
yeah.
show's on season 14, not 8.
Yeah, like, I think, you have to isolate yourself from
Yeah.
those kind of pages if you don't want to see
There's been so
spoilers.
many times I've spoiled it. Like, when it came to The Good Life, and I would like Google the show to see like the cast and crew, and of course spoilers would come up. I'm like, damn it, why would I do that? But it's no one's fault but my own.
Yeah, and it's some of the funniest things are like when they announce someone new joining
Mhm.
the cast. Like I
Mhm.
remember when Casey came around,
Oh yeah.
and everyone was like, "Okay, well, that's gonna be Ty's new love interest." Like,
Oh please, people actually thought that?
yeah. I remember, and I was like, "Well, she's a little bit older, but like, I mean, I guess that,
Definition of cougar, if you remember that photo she posted.
yeah." But it's just like frustrating sometimes when people are stuck on these thoughts that they
Yeah.
can't, let go until they see
Yeah.
the proof of something else.
Oh yeah. Or when they were convinced Amy was pregnant when she came back from Europe. Do you
Yeah.
remember that? People
Well,
thought she was pregnant with Prince Ahmed's child.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So sometimes I'm like tempted to take part of the conversation, be like come on,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
this is not. But then I'm like, well, they'll see.
It's like, yeah, I'm still not over going through it the first time, so let's not do it a second
Yeah,
time.
exactly. When you joined the fandom, and know you um, bought a lot of the merch. Like, do you still do that? And like,
No, I don't buy merch anymore.
yeah,
I I had like lots of totes full of merch I collected over the years, and now I'm down to one, and that's stuff that I'm going to be keeping forever. The rest of it I gave away
yeah,
just so other people could enjoy it like I did too. But yeah, I would buy everything, one of everything, two of everything. Um, I used to buy it all. Like
yeah,
I one time calculated just how much money I've spent on Heartland things, and I was like, no way. Like plane tickets, everything included. My gosh, I've spent like my whole life,
Do you
my whole
think?
life's money.
Do you think if you joined the fandom now, like, would you buy any
Mm-mm.
merch?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I
No.
just think, going back to what I said about the Spice Girls, like I had everything. They
Did you
came,
actually?
yeah, like the lollipops, the stickers, the photographs, like
You
everything.
gotta send me pics of this. I do not believe it.
I don't have most of them anymore, but I have some things that I've kind of
That's
kept
awesome.
because they have these like memories attached.
Yeah.
But like these
Yeah.
days, like I'm 30 something, and it's just like it's not something that I need to kind of,
Yeah.
prove that I'm a fan
Yeah.
or whatever
That's what it
reasons may.
feels like though. Is like when I started out, I was like, I gotta prove to people that I like deserve to be here, which
Yeah,
obviously isn't the truth, and I don't think it should be that way. Don't think like that. You don't
yeah,
have to have merch or go to events to be a big fan of a show, but that's how I thought. But those things just sat there in a box,
yeah,
and I'm like, I want someone to get joy out of it like I did.
yeah,
And there's no need to have those things. There really isn't.
yeah. Like I'm not saying like a 30
Mhm.
something like shouldn't
Yeah,
have
to
these
each
things.
their own. We're not
Yeah,
shaming them,
yeah.
but
It's not like that, but I think just for me, it's more about the
yeah.
practicality.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
could
Because
see,
I'm moving right now, and I'm getting rid of, like, everything, and if I woulda had, like, 5 totes of Heartland things, I'd have to get rid of it now anyways, so it's
yeah,
like
like for example, Amber has some things that if, my life was different, maybe I would buy like her
Mhm.
helmet, or
Mhm.
like, she has the calendar, and it's like,
Yeah.
that's a good calendar, like you use it
Yeah.
for
Mhm.
whatever, like every day. But there are some things that I don't feel like I need.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
haven't bought those, but like at the moment I'm only buying her magazine because, I don't know if it's because I work in the industry kind of
Oh,
thing.
you do, yeah.
So maybe I want to support that, but also like I think there are some interesting articles there sometimes, and information that maybe
Yeah, I
isn't
like reading
enough.
her magazine.
Yeah. And then of course the DVDs. I like to have.
Yeah, I do keep the DVDs. I do
Yeah.
collect the DVDs.
We don't have the show on Netflix here or any streaming
Oh,
service, so it's not like I can just
okay.
like
Yeah,
like.
that's true. Yeah,
And
I
even
do
if
have that.
we did it like they could just delete them from Netflix one
Hmm.
day, and then you're like, well,
Yeah.
I can't watch that.
Now what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like having those, not just for that
Hmm.
reason, but I make a lot of
Yeah.
edits and stuff like that. So I kind of feel like they're part of my blog job
Yeah.
because I
For
have
sure.
them available. But
You know what I found weird though? You remember that Wear Heartland thing? Like they just sucked at promoting it. And like I just feel like could have been really great and it really wasn't.
yeah, and I remember at the time when it came out, I was kind of frustrated because they didn't ship worldwide. It was just
Oh yeah.
Canada and United States, and I was like, well,
Yeah.
there goes that. But
It,
I don't
yeah.
need that
I
anymore
did
anyway.
I got one thing for free, I think, because they said like, "Hey, we'll send you something if you post about it on Instagram." But that was like the most promo they did for the entire thing. But I still have one sweater that I'm trying to get rid of because it doesn't fit me.
I think
And
they could do more merch, like posters and stuff like that. Like
I
I think
and
people want
BBC
that.
has done it for like every show except Heartland. Like
Yeah.
Murdoch has merch. Like the shows that aren't even that important have merch. But
Yeah, like
Heartland's like never had merch. They've done a calendar once, but they've never sold posters or anything. And they would make a fortune.
yeah, I think so too. And then especially like if they did like horse stuff, like
Yeah.
that a lot of horse
Yeah.
people watching like have some
Or
kind of,
t-shirts or something. Yeah.
yeah, like I know there's the Highwood Museum,
Oh, the museum, yeah. They
but
do have
like
a little bit of a
but
selection, but
you
not
know
much.
you have to go there to actually buy them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's shutting out a lot of fans. I think, even after 14 years, they could still come up with some something like that. And I
I'd
think
love
they,
it. And
yeah,
if there was something good enough that I liked that much, I'd probably get it.
yeah, like I think, there's an audience for that, and I think
Yeah.
people would buy that, and
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I would. If it was something cool enough that I liked, I'd get it, sure.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so last time I did pretty good with the trivia, but I'm scared still. Like, what have you come up with?
Oh gosh. Hold on, let me find them here. One sec. First trivia is what year did Michelle Morgan get married?
Oh gosh.
And I'm gonna make sure I got the answer right before.
Is it 2010 or something?
I don't know. It's not.
It's not. Oh.
No.
Am I even close?
You're close-ish, yeah. She got
Two-
married 1 year before Amber did.
2011? 12.
2012. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
That
don't
was
know.
pretty close. I
Yeah.
remember it because they had this huge post. It was like during season 6, there was this huge post like congratulations to Michelle Morgan, and because Michelle
Uh,
recently she had her baby too. Well, she had her baby the year before,
oh,
the
I
same
thought,
time.
because I was thinking Luke got married in season 4, and then no, wait, season 3, and I think
Yeah,
she
it gets
used
confusing
to,
because that was 2010. That was 2010.
yeah, because then I remember that she used the same wedding dress as Lou did. So I was
Oh
thinking like
yes.
that must have been around
Oh,
that
that's
time.
confusing. I didn't even think how confusing that would be.
Oh, so she had
Good
that
question.
in store, and then she used that couple years later, I guess.
She must have liked it a lot.
Yeah, I mean
It
it's
was a
beautiful.
beautiful dress. I
Yeah,
did like it too.
yeah, same.
Oh my gosh. Okay. What episode do we first see Peter? This is the one that I'm not sure of the answer of. I'm pretty sure I know the answer.
I
But
think it's season 2, episode 12, seismic shifts or something. Well, I don't.
Okay. It's either 212 or 213 because I have 213 written, so it's at least one of those. I know for sure he's in 13. I know for sure he's in 13.
I'm gonna check.
Oh, I was right. Seismic shifts. I think that's episode 13, isn't it?
Well, I was thinking. Well, I said the name.
Oh, you said seismic shifts?
Yeah,
Oh,
but I thought it was the 12th.
We did get it. Let me see.
Yeah, I just don't remember
It is 13. Yeah, so it was
Okay.
same difference. We'll
Kind
say that's
of.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and last question. What Mallory's parents, what are their names?
Jessica is the mother,
Uh-huh.
and the father is Charlie, I think.
Ding, ding, ding. I wasn't sure if that'd be easy or not, but
Yeah.
not bad. Not bad. So far, you've gotten every trivia question right.
Well, not the Lou and sorry, Michelle
Oh,
one.
true.
Yeah.
Did stump you.
Yeah, I need to kind of leave room for improvement, right?
Well, I'm sure you're doing better than a lot of people. Like, if there was like, we should do an episode just on trivia and like throw trivia questions back at each other and just see at the end of the episode who got more.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like some pretty tricky questions. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I guess we'll see you guys next week, or hear you next week, or you hear us next week.
Depending on how the video saves for this one.
Yeah, like, did you miss our faces? I don't know.
Did you miss our faces? Let us know.
Yeah.
And if you didn't, don't tell us.
Yeah, like, we only want to know if you did.
Yeah. We can't take any more hate.
Yeah, like, we have a hater already. Like,
yeah,
one is enough.
Yeah. You are right. One is one too many.
Yeah. But yeah. Hopefully next week we have another interesting topic.
I hope so.
I think this.
I'm hoping we can get a guest.
This episode was good, but like, who knows?
Yeah. Lots of good memories.
Yeah, or bad.
Yeah, well, good and bad.
Yeah.
Pros and cons. Maybe that's what we should call the episode. Fandom pros and cons. Who knows?
Yeah.
But anyways, thank you for listening.
Yep.
So much for listening. Thank you.
Tune in next week, and until then, keep your nose clean.
And your powder dry, as they say.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.